my core offering is love your brand. That's where we develop your brand. I'm an award-winning interior designer. I'm an award-winning marketing director. I had started 12 different businesses. I wanted to help that person who had the right drive, but couldn't get the access to the right marketing person. They couldn't get the higher level knowledge to really be able to help them. And so I just decided in 2019, I'm going to go work with women entrepreneurs. Women entrepreneurs are their biggest enemy because they're too bold and too independent. And so they become stubborn almost. They're going to do it all themselves. And that's their biggest downfall. It's also why it takes them so long to get the success that they're looking for. So when I have a client that does what I say and follows that along without that stubbornness and the independentness and the distractions and all that stuff kicking in, they have wild success quickly. They're completely flabbergasted that it works. But when I have the client that starts to go down the path and then suddenly is distracted by 50 other things and doesn't really listen to a plan or stay focused, they're all over the place. They can't get it right. Everything's a mess. And that's where I get frustrated because I can see what's happening. I can pinpoint exactly what's wrong, but you're inundated with this expert says that, and this one says that, and this and that. And so you're all over the place. And instead of just focusing on, how about if we just get you clients and get you money rolling in? And then we can talk about the other things that you can add in. So if you were to take the road to success, like A to Z, they're trying to skip all around. And I'm just trying to say, stay focused. I'm going to get you to Z quickly. I'll get you there fast. But you need to have a solid brand foundation. A good brand includes things that you don't even realize. It includes your business plan. It includes your marketing strategy. It includes your branding strategy. It includes your social media strategy. It includes everything you need to actually have a business in the first place. If you don't have that, you're just spinning your wheels the entire time. So doing that work is the difference between having success within a year or in 3 years still sort of going, why can't I get this to work? So I'm going to give you an example. I had a client recently, when she started working with me, it was the end of 2019, and she was barely going to do $40,000. She was very frustrated because she recognized that there was some confusion about what she did, how she did it, how she was going to find clients, all of those things. She started working with me. By the end of 2020, so it was barely just a year, she crossed $154,000. Now, halfway into 2021, she surpassed $300,000, has a waiting list of clients, and can't even take any more work for the year.
Wow.
And so this is what clarity and strong branding does. She knew what she was good at, but she didn't know how to package it to present it to people. And so that's a big thing that came out of the branding as well. That's a really good example of the timeline and how it's important going from 40 to 300 in just the space of a year and a half is tremendous. You know, the key really is it's that strong independent nature. It can either break you or make you. And it's learning how to harness that properly. And so that can be a battle sometimes. I've turned clients away because I can recognize they're never going to listen. They're too stuck in their way. I've turned people away because I realized that's not going to work. And so that's a challenge for me. That's kind of heartbreaking, really, because I know those are the ones that really need my help the most. But I focus on simplification and attraction. That's my methodology and how I make it work. You only need to know your zone of genius. You don't need to be answering questions outside of that. And so we sort of feel like when we put on that super cape and become that superhero, that suddenly it isn't just about using your shield or your super strength, that you also need to have all these other tools in your arsenal. And that is driving the imposter syndrome. Okay, so if your zone of genius is a LinkedIn coach, if that's your zone of genius and you know everything about LinkedIn, then that's what you focus on. but you don't need to know about 10 other different avenues. The social element is hurting us because we're going, well, I need to be like Susie. And you really need to kind of put blinders on.
Absolutely.
And that's driving that imposter syndrome. And it makes it a daily challenge every day to show up and do what you need to do. So this is why if you follow a good, clear system, you will get where you're going quickly. You need to avoid those distractions. I'm a consultant. That's another important distinction. A lot of times people think I'm a coach. Yes, there's some coaching involved with what I do, but I'm a consultant. I'm actually giving you deliverables. I'm driving business. I'm driving strategies. That's different. A coach is more about helping you figure out what's going on. So there's a huge difference there. So I'm more of a consultant. I'm getting you results. So you pick a system. You either are picking Live Your Passion, which is where I recommend you start. And then you move on to Love Your Brand and you develop your brand and your business. Love Your Brand, that's everything you need to build your business Bible, if you will. Okay. Of course, they're involved in it, but I'm running the ship. I'm uncovering what you're supposed to be doing, packaging it, branding it, implementing it in a website, social media, all of that stuff. And then we move into whatever is relevant to your business or your need. It could be a course, it could be an offering, all those things. They're different for each person. So.
Okay.
And they get implemented. Being an entrepreneur is the most difficult thing there is. It is like taking a ride on a roller coaster that you've never experienced before. And one day could be the lowest day of your life, and the next day could be the highest high of your life. And you've got to be prepared to take that ride. Every day isn't all social media star worthy. That's not the reality of what being an entrepreneur is all about. And so when you go in through that system, what I see typically is if they're sticking to the plan, as soon as the brand is developed, their confidence goes through the roof. They start taking on clients like crazy because they're suddenly for the first time going, oh my gosh, this is what I do. This is how I do it. This is how I talk about it. And this is who I talk to. So it changes the game dramatically. So they start bringing in money and things start to change.